record of 13-0. White Boy is a YouTube sensation who represents Hialeah and is ready for the Trigon Challenge. The Trigon, the smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Renee's experience stretches from MMA to the backyard. Don't miss Renee White Boy Rodriguez as he faces Matt Delanoid in the semifinal round of the 185-pound championship tournament. Don't miss BYB6 live at Hard Rock Hollywood July 16th. Watch it on stonefaces.tv. BYB is proudly sponsored by BMCHam.com. BMCHam.com, your choice for gold and silver. OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a striker for Everton, has now donned himself onto esports. He's become an esports ambassador for Semper Fortis, and this is a big announcement as it's yet another player in big name sports getting into esports. He made a comment on this saying, quote, esports has been on my radar for quite a while now, and I'm excited to take my first steps into the space with Semper Fortis. As an athlete, being competitive is part of my DNA, so it's great to be an ambassador for a brand that is striving for the best. Again, this is very huge for esports as you get yet another big name player, especially in Europe in the world of football, into the esports game, getting everything they possibly can developed into it so that not only is it looked at by someone that guys like myself, Michael, and Toast love to play on a daily basis, but by everybody worldwide.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, websites, or Inter Miami Marketing, LLC.
Time to get in the zone. The Onside Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it.
The Onside Zone.
I don't care how you win a championship, dude. You can draft it, you can buy it, you can trade for it. Just win, baby.
The Onside Zone.
You're not Aladdin rubbing the lamp and then Will Smith comes out and you ask him, hey, fix our dolphin problems. And there he goes. No, I'm sorry. It'd be nice if it was that easy, but it's not.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The Onside Zone with a big O.
All right. Alrighty, welcome aboard. Yes, sir, time to have some fun with some sun, right? Because there seems like there's a little bit of rain in the forecast, although where I live, there's been a fire out there for like a couple days. So they needed the water last night. See if they get a little more out there out west. If you live in deep West Kendall, you know what I'm talking about. There's a fire. Now that's a fire. Now that's a fire. You know where that's from, Alex? Well, that's a fire.
No clue.
That's Eddie Murphy. Delirious. One of the best stand-up shows in the history.
The red leather suit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the purple one, which is Delirious, I think it was called, is the second one or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't as good. But the first one was absolutely amazing. One of the great stand-ups of all time. Right up there with Live on the Sunset Strip with Richard Pryor. Anyway, welcome aboard, folks. We got a lot of things to talk about today. Hayes Carl Yen is going to join us. I think that's how it's pronounced. We'll ask him when we get him on at 1 o'clock. Jags reporter. I'm interested in what's going on with the Jags and all, the craziness with Urban Meyer, and he hires a dirty ass assistant coach that he has to then let go, and then now his newest venture is into Tim Tebow, so we'll definitely get into all of that. Got a lot of things to talk about today on the show. Marlins are back in action. Got several NFL headlines, NBA headlines that I want to get to. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Of course, Alex Aguirre is driving the program, and we will open up the lines for you at 888-441-4623 is the phone line. The text line, 844-416-8123. I will take your questions on the text line if you want to get in. As always, welcome aboard to the folks already watching on YouTube. New York City Sports says, Big O, what's your take on the fool who ran on the court in Washington last night? Oh, I must have missed that. What happened last night? Some guy ran onto the court?
Yeah, security did a football tackle and everything because I was at Washington. Some random fan tried to run the court, and then security tackled him right before he actually reached the court. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he didn't mess with any players or anybody because if you look at the layout of NBA arenas now, those courtside seats under the hoops, that whole area is out now.
You don't have that, right.
So he had to run from the stands all the way. There's a big gap, so he made it pretty far. But it was pretty entertaining, the tackle and everything.
Yeah, I got to tell you, New York City sports, I don't mind if anybody that runs on the fields or whatever, pitches or courts or whatever, I have no problem with them getting arrested, getting their asses kicked, getting embarrassed. I have no problem with any of that. Listen, we go back to watching Martina Hingis, get stabbed in the neck, right? Was it Martina Hingis, right? I think it was. And so we've watched all kinds of stuff happen now, and you have to be extremely careful in today's world because we just don't know who's right in the head and who's not. You know what I mean? And so everybody needs to be protected, and security has to think the worst when they're trying to go after anybody going down on the court. And listen, it's a lot man, things have changed, dude. Okay? I'm young enough that I remember Morgana the Kissing Bandit. And most of you are too young for all of that, but Morgana was not necessarily a good-looking woman. She had this big old blonde, what is it, buffet, whatever. No, it's not a buffet. It's a whatever it is, like the B-52s ladies would have that big-ass blonde thing. And then she had these ginormous jugs, right? And she didn't have a body or anything. She was kind of, squarish. She wasn't really anything out of this world except two big giant jugs with legs, basically. And she would come out of the stands and go kiss a player or a coach. That's why she was called Morgana the Kissing Bandit. And it was a different world in those days because people would laugh. And in the sexist world that we were, probably still are, but it's kind of hidden now. But then it was kind of open, and they would let her come right out of the stands, walk onto the field, whether it was football or baseball, and she would, kiss somebody. And then she'd run right back to the stands and go to her seat. It didn't matter if it was an NFL game. It didn't matter if it was an AFL game. It didn't matter if it was a basketball game. Morgana the Kissing Bandit was all over the place. Okay? So it was just one of those deals. And she was like that for a while. But the world has changed, man. You just can't, that was for fun. You kind of knew what was going on. She kind of became a celebrity in a way. She kind of became one of the first fans that were known, around the country. And she was viral before viral ever existed. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Because Morgana the Kissing Bandit would end up on highlights. You would watch highlights in the evening because obviously you only got your highlights one time, period. Because it wasn't easy to find. You didn't have any computers in those days. You didn't have any DVRs. You didn't have 800 channels. No, you had 3 channels, okay? And maybe the 4th channel was around. I don't know by then. I'm not sure. But the bottom line is you didn't have a lot of highlights, and Morgana would make the highlights. But it was a different world now. And now things are – it's just not the same anymore. And we can't look at things the same anymore because people don't act the same anymore. They act more like animals now than ever. I mean, we're in search of 3 gunmen right now that just opened fire on an entire club of people and ended up killing several and injuring – I don't know, what is it? Did they kill like 2 or 3, I think it is, and injured like 20 or something like that? I mean, it's disgusting. This is the world we live in now. You know, and we saw Hingis get stabbed. We've seen things happen now that you've got to take every precaution of that's available to you. And if somebody crosses the line, you cannot assume that they're Morgana the Kissing Bandit anymore. You can't assume that they're – I mean, Hank Aaron hits home run number 715, and fans come out of the stands, and there's 2 dudes that run the bases with Hank Aaron, tapping him on the shoulder, meaning no harm whatsoever because in those days, that wasn't what you were going to do.
Well, Hank was on the record saying that he was scared for his life.
Of course. Well,
in the moment.
But he's black. Remember,
exactly.
he's dealing with all kinds of racism on a consistent basis. He just broke a white man's record.
Yeah.
Of course he's scared.
So then, but after he realized what the fans, like you were talking about, the interaction was a gentle tap on the shoulder and congratulating him. So,
they wanted just to be a part of the moment.
So he eased, he was able to ease down from the moment. Okay, like they're not here to hurt me or anything like that.
Yeah, but that's a black man
course,
in an incredibly racist country.
Yes.
Which is, we're still racist. But I'm just saying it's just I get why he was. But my point is, those guys weren't there with any bad intentions. Like most people in those days. They weren't out to hurt people. It's just, it's different now. Now you have to assume whoever makes it onto a pitch, a court, the field, whatever it is that you're playing, they're out to hurt somebody. You have to assume that now. Because now we've had so many incidents and we've had other things go on that it's an indicator that our society has completely changed. So, yeah, I did not specifically see it. Oh, it was Monica Seles? Oh, okay, my bad. Monica Seles, that's right. Yeah, it was Monica Seles. Yeah, Hingis was the one with the forehead. Yes, exactly, it was Seles. You are correct. So, things have changed, man. So, I'm not surprised, and I have no problem if you're tackling somebody, and I have no problem if you take the field and you get hurt. And some security guard slams your ass, a player knocks you silly. If that happens to you, I'm going to laugh at you. Okay? I'm rooting for the player, and I'm rooting for the security at that moment. So that's where I stand. I stand against it because the intentions are no longer wholesome anymore. The intentions are no longer just a happy fan trying to enjoy a moment. No, we have to look at it that the intentions are bad. And so that's why you have to take it that way. So I am not for anybody taking the field anymore as fans. It's just, we're in a different world, man. We just do things. Hey, listen, I just talked about this. I enjoyed the Fort Lauderdale Strip back in the days, in the 80s, in the early 80s to mid 80s, obviously after that. I kind of grew up a little bit more, and I wasn't necessarily going to the Strip nearly as much. And then by the late 80s, I want to say early 90s, the partying was too much, and Fort Lauderdale got rid of all the kids. And I'm watching what's going on in South Beach with all these idiots that are coming from all over the country. And thank God this weekend was actually calm because Miami Beach finally responded with 450 officers. So the presence was, immense, and you have to do that. Unfortunately, you have to do it because of what we're in. And I was just talking about it, how these people come for spring break and they're bringing guns and they're doing donuts in the middle of a street where it's packed with people, and the things that are going on there just never happened when I was, partying in the 80s, or any of you that partied in the 70s or the 60s. We were basically going out there to have a couple drinks, get a little buzz, get laid, and, enjoy the party and the music, and that's it. What, was there a fight or two every once in a while? Yeah. Did two guys get out of hand? Sure. They broke it up, and then they went their separate ways. It was over. There was no guns being brought back. There were no gangs. There were none of that kind of stuff going on. Different world. Our way of partying and having fun and releasing is a lot different than some of the morons that are going to South Beach now, because they're assaulting people, they're damaging property, they're going through residential neighborhoods causing hell, they're running over people, they got guns left and right. I forgot how many guns that the cops said they have been able to confiscate over the last month or two, and it's a sick number. None of that kind of stuff happened in the 80s. Again, different world. So if you're a cop in the 80s, you're handling a different kind of teenager, young adult, than you are in South Beach in 2017 and in 2020 and in 2021. It's a different element, man. It's just, it's going to other extremes, and that's the problem. Life changes, and the world has evolved, and I keep telling you that we get every day closer to Mad Max. That's what we get closer to every day. All these shootings and all this kind of stuff that never happened. Never happened 20, 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Nobody got fired and then got pissed off and went back to their business with guns ablazing and shooting up people. This happens now all the time. School shootings happens all the time. It's a different world, man. It's just a different world now. And it's sad because it's gotten worse. We don't get any better. We get worse. What are you going to do? Let me see what we got here. Ian from Brooklyn, by the way, was number one in. And yes, I am feeling better every single day. Ian, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. NorCal is in. Too Extreme is in. He says, Big O, you sound 1,000 times better, my friend. Well, it helps to take a polyp out of your throat. It just does. I'm not all the way back yet. You know what I mean? It's going to take me, a couple weeks here to kind of get everything back. And but yeah, there's no doubt that we have drastically improved right now. Let's see. JDM Wizard is in. Man of 1,005 holds. The camera angle was changed, so we didn't see the guy, but you knew what was happening. I got you. Okay. Beehive hairstyle. That's it. The beehive hairstyle. There you go. Let's see. Brooklyn Rob is in. Says, good morning, my friend, Crypto Bro. Take advantage of the consolidation period, ladies and gentlemen. Not a financial advisor. And by the way, we are creating a crypto show. It'll be separate from, because we're a sports station. It'll be something separate that I'll be doing. But we will be doing a crypto show. Dono and myself will be putting it together, so we're looking forward to it. It's going to be called. It's already on Twitter and on Instagram. On Instagram, we got a TikTok channel also now. It's Crypto Bro Show, and no W with show. Okay, so you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. Wasn't there a female vampire chick named Morgana? Yeah, no, it was Elvira is the vampire lady. Yes. But see, Elvira is kind of sexy, I got to say. Morgana was not. And you guys can, do you know who Morgana the Kissing Bandit is, Alex?
Yeah, because MLB Network did like a little special on her. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't remember her, but like I remember seeing that thing on MLB Network. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Super Boom Shack says, "Let's burn disco albums on the baseball field." Yeah, that was a disaster plan there. I don't know how they let that promotion go, but I mean that was what was this guy's name? Did you say the name?
No, I just said the disco is dead.
Oh yeah, it's with a V I forgot his name now. Somebody will help me out with it. A big, he was a great promotions guy. I forgot his damn name now. But yeah, that was all him, and that's how it happened. Robert Rebel is in. Bromar Smelly. Let's see who's going to host the new crypto show. Well, me and Donna will be the hosts. Matt Walker in. Man of 1,005 holds. Let's see, what else do we have here? Mike Hunt. Has anybody seen Mike Hunt? Mike Hunt is in. There you go. Hingis dated Yager? She did? I didn't know that. Martina Hingis. You could land an airplane on her forehead. I mean, that was an impressive forehead. It's one of those foreheads you can land a plane on. Anyway, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll reset. We'll come back on the other side. I got plenty of things to talk about, a couple of NFL headlines I want to get to. A silly Dolphins story also that's developed. Got a bunch of things to talk about. Back with more right here. Oh, wait a minute, what? Oh, here we go. Oh, I see the fan now. And they tackled his ass. Okay, so they got him right at the thing. Oh, and he's like waving everybody as he's getting taken away. Okay. Idiot. Like, I got no problem if he got injured. None. Zero. Why is that worth, getting thrown out, getting banned? Is that really worth it? All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more. Don't forget, Thursdays, 7 to 9, catch Fight Night with Alex Dono and James Walker. It's the show dedicated to combat sports. From UFC to boxing to bare-knuckle brawling, Alex and James provide combat sports fans the insight and interviews they crave. Tune in every Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. for Fight Night with Alex Dono and James Walker. Search and subscribe to the podcast by searching Fight Night on the home for combat sports, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Howdy, stranger.
Didn't this used to be Radio Town?
Yes, sir. It was Miami Sports Radio Town one time.
Who in the hell are these cowboys I never saw?
We don't know who these people are, riding in from other towns. There used to be a host in every one of these saloons, trying to talk about local matters, sports.
That ain't good, stranger. Could you tell me how this happened?
Well, it started when one corporation bought another, and they got rid of the good management and brought in a bunch of bumbling idiots and started firing all the local ranchers and replacing them one by one with these strangers from out of town.
I've heard that story before. Static and tumbleweeds, I'm moving on.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
This Inter Miami CF Minute is brought to you by Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world and a great place to watch Inter Miami CF. Stout features Clonakilty Whiskies, the world's best Irish whiskey.
A name that was left out of the loss to DC United at Drive Pink Stadium on Saturday night was Rodolfo Pizarro for the second time in a row. He missed the Chicago game and did not make the trip due to a so-called injury. And again, due to a so-called injury, Rodolfo Pizarro was not in the starting 11 or even in the squad. We have to hope that our third DP is okay. After not being called up to El Tri, the Mexican national team, and now with a couple of injuries, hopefully he can come back a lot stronger than he did after his poor performances this season and really make an impact for a team that needs him.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio.
All righty, welcome back. Appreciate all of you out there. We're going to have some fun here today on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you all for the kind words. Jay Gelfin just chimes in, says, good afternoon, Orlando. Great hearing you again. See you at Dangerous Minds, and I will see you, sir, at Dangerous Minds. Thank you, sir. 90 miles from Cuba. What's up, baby? Glad to see you feeling better. Damn right. We're feeling good, man. Thank you. Thank you. Mike No-Go Zone says, Iron Maiden shirt. You know, not only do I have an Iron Maiden shirt, right, which obviously is from the last tour, but I'm ready just in case I have to whip out the mask. I'm going to whip out a little Killers. You know what I'm saying? So, just in case. But, you know, now I can put the mask away for a little bit. It's nice. Still need the mask because certain places you might need the mask. But right now in studio, we don't need the mask at this point in time. So anyway, hope you all are doing well out there. A lot of things to talk about on the show. Alex says the guy that hit Kyrie with the water bottle, actually he didn't hit him. He says, should have been banned and arrested, which I understand, but to charge him with assault and battery with a deadly weapon is way too excessive. I disagree with you in this sense, Alex. I kind of talked about this yesterday. And again, not to get too political because some of you are on one side of the fence or the other. And I actually, if you listen to me, I take shots at both sides because I don't give a rat's ass about either side because I think both sides have it wrong. So to me, it doesn't matter. I'm equally, trashing both sides. But it's like our gun laws. I think our gun laws need to be excessive. I said it yesterday. You get busted with a gun that is not registered, it doesn't belong to you, just busted with it, you should get 15 years in jail. Okay? Seriously. I'm not joking. You commit a crime, it should be no less than 25 years in jail. You commit murder with it, you should die. Period. Over. You start doing that, trust me. Like I said yesterday, it becomes the gun. No, hell no, dude, I get 15 years if I have that. No, I get out of here. It's like a hot potato, bro. You'll scare the crap out of people. You need to charge these people that rush the stadium arenas or floors or fields or whatever. charge them. Make it like so they understand that, my Lord, I just take the field, I'm going to go to jail for sure. And I said it yesterday. Not only should he be banned from TD Garden, he should be banned from every sporting arena in the country. Eventually, all these arenas are going to have face recognition. All businesses are going to have face recognition. Whether you like it or not, they're going to have cameras when you come in, and they're going to be taking pictures of everybody for protection purposes. Okay? They have to do it. Eventually, that's where we're going. Don't kid yourselves. That's where we're going. And so, to me, if you screw up, and Bill Veck, thank you, Manuel Garcia, appreciate you. Bill Veck, I just saw it. Thank you. That's the name I was looking for. Eventually, for me, any of these fans, you screw up and you got on the field, now you don't belong on any football. You can't go to a football game. You can't go to a baseball game. You can't go to a basketball game. Can't go to an MLS game. Can't go to an NBA game. You're done. And trust me, you start doing that to people, and they'll stop going on the court. They'll stop going on the field. They'll stop throwing things. Because, again, cameras will catch you doing it. And when they catch you doing it, you should be banned from every sporting arena. Okay? You have to have tough penalties in this world. If you want to curtail all this kind of behavior, you got to send a message that you're not going to get a break. Our justice system gives criminals way too many breaks. And here in sports, we've given these idiots way too many breaks over the years. So they need to pay hefty penalties. You need to scare the crap out of people not to be able to do that ever again. No, dude, I'm not throwing that. I'm going to get banned. I'll never be able to go to another sporting event again. That's a serious, that's when a sports fan will go, whoa, wait a minute, dude. I don't want any part of that. I'm just saying. So, hey. Okay. I'm just saying that you got to do that, you know? I'm ashamed of the carnage that occurs in our city of Miami over Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, no, it's disgusting. Let's see. Jay's saying only 9 likes. That's true. Let's go. You got to pick up the likes. Let's go. You got to pick up the likes here on the show. Let's see. Do it like the Minority Report. Read the eyes. Too much plastic surgery going on. NorCal says, happy birthday to Solo D, the Hit Squad. Nice. Solo D, happy birthday to you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Robert says she had big teeth also. I don't know if she had big teeth. She had big gums. If you're talking about Hingis, right? If we're still on the Hingis discussion, I don't think it was big teeth. I think it was big gums, if I'm correct with Hingis. She had the big forehead, and I think she had the big gums. I'm pretty sure of that. And having said all that, she was a good-looking girl still. I agree with you, Big O. It's all about respect the players. How about we just respect each other? Okay? How about that? You know, somebody cuts you off, whatever. Hey, you know, whatever happened, you scream in your car and then you just keep going. You don't get out of your car and get a gun and shoot somebody. You know what I'm saying? How about let's just respect each other? I mean, we're beating Asian people out on the street for no reason at all. What the hell is that? You know, let's just respect each other. How about this this animal, Marcelo Zuna? Did you see this? The guy threatened to kill his wife. The cops came in. They caught him slamming her against the wall. I think he was grabbing her by the throat, if I'm correct. He was, right? I have the story here.
Charged for strangulation.
Right, exactly. I mean, seriously, dude? Is that supposedly the woman you love? That's how you treat the woman you love? Hey, you know, it's really hard. It's really easy not as a husband to not live up to the crap I see on television. These guys that disappear and have kids, don't pay attention to the kids, don't support their families. They just disappear. Guys that are abusive, alcoholics, gamblers, that, instead of using their money for rent or for their mortgage, they're gambling it away. It's really easy for the rest of us that are like normal human beings to live up to those standards. Because I sit there and I watch TV with my wife, and it's like, wow, thank you for not being any of this. And it's like, well, that's not hard, man. It's actually pretty easy. I've had fans over the years, because I've slammed people like Marcelo Zuna over and over, and then I'll have the idiot fan that will send me a text, a tweet, a DM post, or whatever. Oh, I bet you're perfect. And I go, no, I'm not perfect, dude. I screw up all the time with my wife. I just don't beat on her. You know what I mean? I pay all the bills. I support my wife. I love my wife. But I screw up. Yeah, I might be late. I might have, I don't know. I told you I was going to use $100. I used $120 at the concert or something. I might do some stupid things like, I forgot to take out the trash. Whatever. I might do something stupid. You know what I'm saying? But beating on my wife, that's pretty easy. I can stay away from that. DUIs? Yeah, no, I can stay away from that. Getting arrested for assault or murder or beating your child, or you know what? It's pretty easy to stay away from that. Because I've had the idiot fan like, oh, I bet you're perfect. No, dude, I'm not perfect, but I make the normal mistakes that human beings make. That's it. These are things that animals do. These are things that disgusting, despicable, I don't even want to call them human beings. Okay? I don't even, because they're not human beings. So it's funny because usually when we pick on somebody like Marcelo Zuna, who, by the way, I hope never plays baseball again, which I know that's not going to happen. He'll be probably out this year, and then next year they'll bring him back. Is probably what they'll do. He'll be out for the rest of the year. They'll tell him to get help. He'll have to go through the legal, process, and then after he'll be allowed to come back, I'm sure. But let me ask you something. Most of us may not even survive our jobs if we do something like that. And yet all these other idiots, they get break after break after break after break. I mean, seriously, man. Come on. So, yeah. Mike says, you do like Chris Rock said back in the day, never hit them, but grab them by the shoulders and shake them. LOL. Big O, whatever happened to saying respect to others the way how they want to be treated? And his wife was arrested for domestic violence a few years back. The couple is out of their minds. Well, listen, it's pretty, I think relationships are pretty simple in this sense, and I've said this a lot over the years. If you're in a relationship where the discussion or disagreement or argument ends with he or she hitting each other, then you need to walk away from that relationship right away. Okay? If she's the abusive one, if you're the abusive one, whatever it is, somebody's got to walk away right away. Because you've already crossed a line that only gets worse. So if you're in a relationship with somebody that needs to settle it physically, then you're in the wrong relationship already. And you need to get the hell out. It's pretty simple. Big O, this is why I love listening to you, because of your open-mindedness to coming with rational solutions and tell it like it is. You're the best. Well, I don't know if it's rational. I don't know if it's right or whatever. It's just how I feel, man. That's all. What if your wife is an MMA fighter? I'll tell her, pin me down when we're in the bedroom. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you, bro? You know what I'm saying? If she's an MMA fighter, then think about the fun we can have in the different positions. That means she's really flexible. So you got to look at it the positive way, bro. You can't look at it the negative way that you walk in the room and it becomes an octagon. No. It becomes more fun, okay? And if she's an MMA fighter, she's really flexible and she's in great shape. She can probably outlast you. So there's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you got to look at it. Not that you're going to fight, that you're going to have some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you do it, man. That's all. Flexibility. Hey, fans support the teams. They buy the jerseys and tickets, but they never get the love they deserve on sports radio. So here at OnsideRadio.com, we change that with Miami sports music for the fans. It's the show driven by Stephen D, representing Miami sports fans around the world. Tune in every night from 6 to 7 p.m. as Stephen D and fans around the world drive the talk about your favorite South Florida sports teams. OnsideRadio.com is dedicated to the Miami sports fan.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com. Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dano, you missed.
I think we need to normalize the nickname Dick again. There used to be a lot of dicks. Now, people think about the male anatomy. I don't know why we can't use Dick as a nickname. There was something the strong, silent type would have the name Dick. Yeah, sure, it was a nickname for Richard, but Richards now will just go by Rich or Richard. Like, nobody goes by Dick anymore. I think we need to normalize Dick.
Man of the Match with Alex Dano from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Marlins are back on the field tonight in Buffalo, taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Sandy Alcantara will be on the mound for the Fish. First pitch is scheduled for 7:07. Last night in the NBA playoffs, the Washington Wizards stayed alive with a 122-114 win over the 76ers. Joel Embiid left the game late in the first quarter with a sore right knee, and the Utah Jazz took a commanding 3-1 lead after a 120-113 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. Tonight, Brooklyn looks to eliminate the Celtics at 7:30. The Nets are a 12.5-point favorite. Portland-Denver tip-off at 9 p.m. Their series is tied at 2-2, and the Nuggets are a 1.5-point favorites for their game. Lakers and Suns tip off at 10 with the Suns a 5-point favorite. AD is questionable for the game, and Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from the French Open. You're listening to the only locally owned South Florida sports talk station. Coming up, it's more of the Onside Zone with the Big O right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Sean Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man.
Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com. Onside Radio continues to grow. To make your life easier, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the MyTuner Radio app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter-Miami CF match. Go to your app store, download MyTuner Radio, and search Onside Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan.
I wonder if it'll rain today. Holy crap. You know, it's funny because all the time I get off with an umbrella every day, and it's all about the U. I actually have a couple different ones. I have a Dolphin one. I have a Panthers one. And so people always like, why are you getting off with the umbrella? Because a lot of times I leave here and it's freaking raining, man, all the time. And now we're in June. So now June, July, and August. Are you kidding me? Afternoon showers every single time. Damn, dude. Yeah, you might be lucky because you leave by the early evening. So you're all right, Alex. But anybody that leaves in the afternoon, you got to be prepared here every single time, man. So anyway, I just saw the commercial from Geico that has Lisa Loeb, Stay, the song. And I did not realize that woman's 53 years old. I was telling Alex, she still looks good. I wonder how old she is. I didn't realize that she was right around my age. I'm 54, and she's 53 years old. She looks good, man, for 53. I got to say. And how about Geico? Geico, if you just had 15 minutes of fame, they will find you and bring you back for a commercial. And you'll be able to live off of those 15 minutes once again. I would imagine that there's a bunch of people that have no idea about that song, and they probably now like that song and have downloaded it and that kind of. Did you know that song before the commercial there, Alex? No, right? See what I'm saying? Because there's a bunch of young people. It's not a bad song. It's actually a decent song. And she can still hold the note and everything. And she still looks cute. It's funny. At Murias Dental, one of our proud sponsors, which I encourage any of you to go with your families. They have just a terrific family practice there, obviously. Father Murias has invented several patents that are used all over the world. I mean, it's an awesome place. Trust me, I go there all the time. I've got my Invisaligns. I've got one more week of Invisaligns left, and I'm finally done. All my teeth will be straightened out. Anyway, so what's it called? He's got an assistant, and it's funny. This was way before this commercial. And I told her, do you know who Lisa Loeb is? Because he has an assistant that, I'm telling you, she's Lisa Loeb. Except her hair is just a little lighter and brown. Lisa's is a little darker, and Lisa's, eyebrows are darker. Hers are a little lighter, but she has the glasses. She has the cute little look like Lisa Loeb, all that stuff. She's cute as a button, like Lisa Loeb was. And actually, Lisa still looks cute now. I told her, do you know Lisa? And I knew she didn't because she's, in her 20s. And I told her, okay, check that video out. So the next time I went, I go, did you see? And she goes, yeah. I think she said my boyfriend or fiance or husband, I don't know which one she said, he agreed with you. He goes, wow, you do look like her, and it's funny. So if you want to see Lisa Loeb's doppelganger, right? I think that's the term for it. She's at Moodius Dental, okay? Telling you. Bring a guitar and ask her to sing Stay. I don't know if she can sing. I don't know if she can play guitar, but she looks exactly like Lisa Loeb in the 90s. Telling you. I mean, boom. I still remember the movie Reality Bites. Yeah. No, what really bites is the reality that was in 1994, my brother. What really bites is that was 27 years ago. What really bites is, to me, that song was just on the radio just a couple years ago. No, it was 27 years ago. It was number one. Crazy. Time, dude. Time flies. Dennis says, it's raining up here in Melbourne, brother. I'm happy to see you're feeling better. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Moondog Trading says, I would smash. Super Boom Shack says, Orlando, I will be in Miami at the end of June. Let me know if you want to get some drinks at Penrod's or Button South. No, I will meet you in the Agora Ballroom so we can watch a jam. Speaking of jams, Guns N' Roses announced their tour. They're coming October 2nd and 3rd to the Hard Rock Live Arena. How about that? I got to go see GNR. You know who's opening up? Mammoth is opening up, which is Wolfgang Van Halen's band. Eddie's son will be opening up for Guns N' Roses. That's pretty cool. I like a couple of his tunes. I've seen him on video. And by the way, he can sing. He sounds good, man. It's a little different than, obviously, Van Halen. It's not the same kind of music, but it's still pretty damn good, man. I give him credit. Super Boom Shack says, Strawberries. Yeah, let's go, bro. I hear Hammerhead's playing in 2 weekends from now over at Strawberries. Yeah, definitely. It's funny because at Strawberries, at one point I went with my girlfriend then to go see Sylvester when it was a disco club. And then I would go when it was a rock bar also. And it was all metal and all the different bands, Slayer and Hammerhead and all these different bands locally that used to play there at Strawberries. So from two extremes. Mike says, I'm definitely going to go see Guns N' Roses, while NorCal says puke. NorCal be, I don't know, they've got to reschedule the Oakland dates for Pearl Jam. I don't know when they're going to reschedule those, but when they do, I'll definitely be out west, so I can definitely go see you when I'm out there for a couple days, because we'll go out there for 4 or 5 days, because it's going to be 2 days for sure, Pearl Jam, and then I'm not just going to go there for 2 days, pop in and pop out. We'll probably hang around there for a couple days. Hopefully there's more concerts, and we can do a few more shows while we're out there. But I'm looking forward to that. I wonder when they reschedule those damn dates so we can go to Oakland and see Pearl Jam Duke. I'm looking forward to that. All right. Oh, man, it's already late here. All right, let's take a quick break here. We'll come back on the other side. If you want to get in, you know what? Let me keep it going for 2 more minutes, and then we'll just take it to the top. And Hayes Carlian will join us on the other side, and we'll talk a little football with him. I got a bunch of things to talk about. This entire hour I've kind of just spent talking with you guys and going off everything on YouTube. It's crazy. Yeah, Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. Now, Tyron Woodley is the same Tyron Woodley. I saw that. It's the Michigan running back, right? Or is it a different Tyron Woodley? Is this the same Tyron Woodley that played at Michigan, then he became a fighter? Is that what it was? Or is this a completely different Tyron Woodley? Help me out. The guy that played for the Raiders, played for Michigan in college. Can you look that up for me? Is that the case? Alex, Tyron Woodley. See if the fighter, if he also played football at Michigan. Do you know?
Well, it says here Tyron Woodley, he's an ex-UFC champ.
Okay. And before that, is he the same guy that played football in Michigan?
Yeah.
It is, right?
NCAA Division I collegiate wrestler for the Missouri Tigers, becoming a 2-time All-American and Big 12 Conference champion.
No.
I don't think he played football.
Oh, no, so he was a wrestling guy.
Wrestler at college.
Okay, all right, because there was a Tyron Woodley. Am I right? Wasn't there a Tyron Woodley that played at Michigan and played for the Raiders? Okay, so it's two different Tyron Woodleys. Okay, all right. All right, because I know Tyron Woodley had a short football career, so I figured he went from football into MMA or whatever. So I was wrong. Okay, not the first time. Won't be the last. I'll be wrong plenty of times. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break at the top of the hour. Hayes Carlyon is going to join us, Jags reporter for 1010 XL there in Jacksonville, the Frangie Show. He, of course, covers the Jags. I want to see what's going on. I want to get the pulse of Jacksonville and, of course, Tim Tebow, just to see what he thinks, if Tim Tebow can actually make the team, or will he make it because of the PR purposes since he's selling a ton of jerseys. Hour number 2 is next.
Welcome to OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
This Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard will be broadcasting live from Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout features Clonakilty Whiskies, the world's best Irish whiskey. So come on out this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Red Card Radio live from Stout Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
When you want local sports, 1260 WLESPN.
We're live and local.
Yes, what she said.
Well, it's what they wrote.
Look at it this way, honey.
Oh, no. Here we go.
At some point, this was all live, and wherever it came from, it was local there.
You get that look whenever you stretch the truth or when you need your laxative.
Ain't it awful? South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or Inner Miami Marketing, LLC.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Time to get in the zone. The Onside Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it.
The Onside Zone.
I don't care how you win a championship, dude. You can draft it, you can buy it, you can trade for it. Just win, baby.
The Onside Zone.
You're not Aladdin rubbing the lamp and then Will Smith comes out and you ask him, hey, fix our dolphin problems. And there he goes. No, I'm sorry. It'd be nice if it was that easy, but it's not.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The Onside Zone with a big O.
All right. All right, it's hour number 2, baby. We promised you we're going to go upstate, Go to Jacksonville, have some fun. Hayes Carlyon covers the Jags for 1010 XL, the Frangie Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Kind enough to give us some time. Hayes, did I butcher your last name? Because, I mean, with a name like Alzigari, like my last name, I mean, I'm used to it. So I'm just wondering, did I pronounce it right?
You were close, Orlando. I'll give you a passing grade. It's Carlyon, but I do.
Oh, Carlyon. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you today, and don't worry about it. It's one that, as you can imagine, I've been dealing with for many years.
Oh, I feel
appreciate you having me on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel your pain. Don't worry about it. Although those of us that have screwed up names, we kind of get used to it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Absolutely.
So Carlyon joining us now. Hayes Carlyon joining us. All right, Hayes. So talk to me about the Tebow buzz, dude, because it sounds so wacky from afar. But, we're watching, the Pauls fight, and they are draws, and people are going to make money. And so is this about football, or is this about making money? Because obviously they're selling a lot of Tebow jerseys. So what's been your impression so far from this marriage?
Yeah, I think it's genuinely about football. Is kind of ridiculous as the signing is. I mean, if it was, even if you're a diehard Tebow supporter, it's hard not to acknowledge that this is one of the more bizarre signings that we've seen in the league in the last several years. Now, having said that, does that mean it absolutely won't work out? I mean, it's hard to make that call. I'll say this: we got to watch him for one OTA practice last week. And, the first bar is, does he look like he belongs? Well, he cleared that bar. I mean, he looks like he belongs. He doesn't look incredibly out of place out there. He's shorter than the majority of the tight ends, so he's got kind of a different body type. But in terms of his, him running around and things like that, he certainly didn't look completely out of place. He, caught the ball fine. Obviously, there's no contact, so you're not, really seeing how well he can block and his technique and things like that. But I will say I thought he passed the test in terms of he doesn't look like somebody who just has absolutely no business being out there. He looks more like a fullback to me, body type wise, than he does a tight end, and so that'll be interesting to see if they do kind of expand beyond just what we would consider the normal tight end, package. But, I'll say this. Tim has a couple things going for him here, besides his connection with Urban Meyer. The Jaguar tight end room, I think, is the worst in the NFL. You've got, Chris Manhurst, who they signed in free agency, who they believe is a really good blocking tight end. You've got James O'Shaughnessy as their top pass-catching tight end. I don't think I need to dive in any more into that.
Right.
And, and so it's not a tough room in terms of, Tim finding a way onto the 53. It doesn't look like the Jaguars are really contenders to possibly make a move for Zach Ertz. So it doesn't look like, there's a chance, but it doesn't look like it's, that they're the favorite or anything like that. So, I think Tim has a puncher's chance is outside and unique a situation as this is, because frankly, the room isn't that good. They're going to keep 4.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And Hayes, I think what we look at it from the outside is you wonder, will Urban lose respect in the locker room because maybe you could find a younger guy that was undrafted that maybe has more skill set than Tebow, and why didn't you bring him in? And you're bringing in your friend, and then what happened with the assistant coach kind of blew up in his face, a couple months ago. So all of these kind of things have kind of rolled into one, and so people wonder, okay, if this is more about PR, this is more about your boy, this is more about bringing a guy in that doesn't necessarily deserve it. And I think that's going to be the watershed moment, isn't it, Hayes, where Tebow has to prove that he can play on the football side of it. When they're practicing, he's going to have to burn some of these linebackers and safeties on routes so they can earn their respect in the process. And then eventually on the field, if it gets to that point that he's on an active roster and he's making plays on the field, I think those are the threshold moments that Urban has to reach to kind of then say, then I think everybody else will say, okay, this is a football decision.
Yeah, and the thing, you hit on a number of good points. The thing I would say about the locker room is right now, no one in that locker room has any clout. I mean, this team was 1-15. I mean, Miles Jack's a pretty good player, but beyond that, there isn't a lot of, 30-plus-year-old, savvy veteran guys that have been in this league, gone to multiple Pro Bowls. I mean, the roster just doesn't have that. So I think in terms of it hurting Urban Meyer in the locker room, I don't think, at least right now, it has. Now, to your point, if Tebow can't play yet is kept on the roster, then obviously that's going to cause, great concern. But, I mean, that's malpractice, and I'd be surprised if Urban Meyer commits that kind of malpractice by keeping somebody on the roster that is a detriment to the team. I mean, Urban Meyer wants to win. I don't think he's going to sacrifice that so that Tim Tebow can make the club. So I don't think it'll end up being a problem because either Tim can't play and Tim will be cut, or Tim will be able to contribute. But in terms of the initial reaction that you've seen sort of nationally about, well, this is going to hurt Urban Meyer in the locker room immediately, I don't think that there's any legitimacy to that because there's nobody in that locker room that has the credibility at this point to have any issue with what they're doing.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point on your part there. And listen, let's be honest, okay? It's impossible to dislike Tebow. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you dislike Tebow, there's something wrong with you. You're just not maybe a human being. You don't have a heart or something. That's the one thing I'll say about that guy. This is one guy that is likable, and I'm sure once all these guys meet him, which I'm sure a lot of them have already, I'm sure he grows on you quickly. You know what I mean? Because deep down inside, this is a good human being. So it's almost impossible to dislike Tebow, right?
Well, I think so. And the other thing that I think benefits Tim is Tim has just always been able to acclimate to these situations. He was homeschooled in high school, yet he was still able to become one of the more popular players in East, even though he wasn't attending school there. He was homeschooled and he would show up for practices, but he was anything but an outsider. He was a very much a core member of that team from a leadership standpoint, not only because he was a great player, because he really became close friends with his teammates. Obviously, you saw it at Florida. He came in as a 5-star, zero entitlement, was able to blend in, make friends, contribute right away as a freshman, sort of spelling crisply. You even saw it with the Mets. I mean, he's obviously a big time celebrity when he joins the Mets in their minor league outfits, and all he received from his teammates was raves because he's a humble, grounded person and doesn't get caught up in what he's accomplished or how many people know him and his celebrity. And so I think that's going to benefit him really well in this experience now with the Jaguars. I mean, he's 10 years older than 70% of the roster. I mean, and so I think it's, I don't think it will be all that difficult for him to have positive relationships. Now, is he going to be, close? Probably he's not going to be close with a lot of the younger guys, but you don't see that in the NFL anyway. I mean, when 10-year age difference in the NFL is substantial, you're talking about a totally different mindset from a 33-year-old and a 23-year-old. And, so I don't know that he's going to be, hanging out and things like that, but I don't think a lot of 33-year-old players in the NFL are hanging out, off the field a lot with their 23-year-old counterparts. But that doesn't mean they can't have a great working relationship and in the locker room really get along well.
One more thing on the Tebow front. How do you think they will handle the distraction that is Tim Tebow? And I don't mean this in a bad way. I just mean it in the obvious way, because this is a guy that is he's kind of a lightning rod. Again, not in a bad way, but in a way that could be, if he is a backup tight end, people want to talk about Tim Tebow. They want to talk to him. They're going to talk to other players about him. And yet, if he's not making a major impact and he's only a backup, he will still be one of the most talked about players in the locker room. And Urban, I'm sure you're going to have the people that are going to come in, not you, but the news person comes in, the entertainment person comes in. Hey, what about Tim Tebow? Is he going to play this and that? So Tim Tebow kind of becomes, in a way, a distraction, and I don't mean it again in a bad way, but it does become something of a subject that maybe is not a big part of what you're actually doing on the field, but off the field, it becomes a major topic. Like with the Jets, while he was a backup and not playing, they had to deal with the Tebow questions the entire time, because this dude has got juice, bro. This guy's got juice like most people never have this kind of juice, because he's like that. It's like there's a following that comes with Tim Tebow, and that's something. Are they prepared for that?
Yeah, all great points and questions. I think that if they decide to keep Tebow on the 53-man roster, and again, I say the odds are not with him. There's 90 guys there now. 37 of them are going to get cut. But if he makes the 53, then I think it's just par for the course. You have to understand that yes, there's going to be people that want to come in and talk to him, and you're going to get asked questions, certainly more than you normally would with somebody who's playing in a rotational role. But having said that, if he makes the team, I got to think if he makes the team, he's going to have some sort of role, whether that's, does Urban Meyer get creative with him in some ways? I could see that. Does he become, a short yardage running option at the goal line or on third down? And if he does, then that's going to be enough to justify any media coverage that he gets. So if he makes the 53, I don't think he'll just be like a healthy scratch every week and be inactive. I think if he makes it, he's going to be somebody that's active and will have at least some role offensively that is going to be interesting and is probably going to, lead to legitimate questions being asked. So it's fascinating to see how it'll play out. I just still wonder, a big thing too with Tim is, where is he going to be physically on, day 6, 7, 8 of training camp when the pads go on? I mean, he is getting ready to turn 34. He hasn't done this ever. He has not played this position ever. And while he's always been durable in his athletic endeavors, you do wonder, will he just be able to get through camp? I mean, does he get to, and that's not a knock. There's a lot of guys that pull a hamstring in camp. But when you're in the situation Tim is in, if he, does pull something, if he has a soft tissue injury that causes him to miss 2 or 3 weeks, what does Urban Meyer do? Will he have seen enough to say, yeah, I'm going to keep him on the team? That would seem to be unlikely. So, a big part of this for Tim will be, can he get through August healthy and not miss really any reps so that he can prove to the Jaguars and, his team that, he deserves to have a spot on the 53-man roster.
Hey, dude, Angels don't get injured, all right? He's got that halo. He'll be protected. All right, hey, listen, when we look at the quarterback, do they have around him to protect him, unlike these idiots in Cincinnati that they go and draft their kid and then let him take a beating? How are the people in front of Trevor? Are you talking about a capable unit of protecting the kid so he can have a decent season? Because I felt bad for Joe Burrow, man. You kept watching him every week take a beating, getting slammed, and then eventually he blew out a knee. And that's, and after watching the idiots in Indianapolis, who now have a terrific offensive line after Andrew Luck leaves, because they allowed Andrew Luck to become a piñata, and then he just said enough is enough. I got to ask, what do the Jags have in front so this kid can have a decent season?
Yeah, I think it's better than a lot of people realize. The first thing that helps is the continuity. They've all been together now 3 years. They have the same position coach returning. George Warhop survived the transition from Doug Marone to Urban Meyer. So you like all that. You like the familiarity they have with each other and the cohesiveness. There's not a star in the group. Brandon Linder, the center, is considered good. I would say he's not excellent. Andrew Norwell has had moments in his career. He played pretty well last year for the Jaguars. They used the franchise tag on left tackle Cam Robinson, so they still believe that he's got an upside that he can still hit. Jawan Taylor had a disappointing second year, but looked good as a rookie. So they're hopeful that his third year will be good. And then right guard A.J. Cann is a serviceable player. Really nothing more than that. They did draft Walker Little in the second round out of Stanford, who has been incredibly impressive physically. Now, again, the pads haven't gone on. It'll be tough to make any sort of firm judgment on how soon he can help them until we get to training camp. But Walker Little looks like somebody physically that should be one of their best five. So, I think they're in a pretty good place. It's almost a no-name unit. There's not a lot of star power, but you have to like the cohesiveness and the fact that, across the line, there's not one guy that's just an absolute weak spot. They're all, average to good players. And if Walker Little can hold up when the pads go on, then they may have really found a second-round steal in that young man out of Stanford.
And by the way, you started off, I forgot about Brandon Linder, former UMer, and I looked it up now. Dude, he's been in the league 7 years now already. Damn, man.
Yeah.
Time flies. Wow.
Yeah, I still remember when he joined us for his conference call the day he got drafted, and Brandon may have been on a beer or two. It was a lot of fun talking with him that day.
That is awesome. That's fantastic. Weapons he does have, right? I mean, that's something that Jacksonville's got, not a tight end, no shot at Tebow, but I'm just saying they do have some receivers that will make his life a little easier, right?
Yeah, I think so. You look at, it's going to start with what they can do on the ground to try and keep defenses honest. And you've got James Robinson, who went over 1,000 yards last year as an undrafted rookie. Yeah, add Travis Etienne to that. That obviously gives you the pass-catching weapon as well out of the backfield. So, that's going to really benefit Trevor. And then, I think the receivers, Marvin Jones, I think is a really, really sneaky, underrated play this year. He's somebody that really has produced well in his career. He just hasn't gotten a lot of acclaim for it. He signed with the Jaguars in free agency. And as you mentioned, there's nothing at tight end. So somebody's going to be Trevor Lawrence's security blanket. I think it's going to be Marvin Jones, and I think he's going to catch a lot of passes. DJ Chark gives you some explosiveness. He was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago and is just going into his fourth year. And then you've got Laviska Shenault, the second rounder from a year ago, who showed some good signs. So they do have some players. Colin Johnson's an up-and-coming receiver who's a big target. They signed Philip Dorsett in free agency, who's been a disappointment.
Yeah, I don't think he makes it through your training camp. I don't think he makes it to the 53 when it's all said and done. He's just got speed. He's never really developed into a good receiver. Now, as in DJ Chark, I fell in love with that kid when I saw him at the Senior Bowl a couple years ago, and I was like, wow. I mean, because he's such a good route runner too. He just knows how to set up corners. I think they actually have a decent wide receiving core, and I'm with you. I think Marvin Jones is going to have a monster year with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor's going to love that kid because he's sure-handed. He's a pro's pro. I wanted Marvin Jones down here as an older player to help out Tua, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think he brings a reliability that a rookie quarterback is really going to lean on. And as we talked about, Chark and Shenault are still on their rookie deals. They're still players that are kind of learning the nuances of the game a little bit. Marvin Jones is somebody who already has all of that experience. So I do think that, he is somebody that, could be over that, 1,100 yard, 7 or 8 touchdown range this year. For the Jaguars. And again, I think he is going to be the player Trevor's looking at a lot on the real critical downs, at least until, DJ Chark or Laviska Shenault rise to that occasion.
There you go. Check him out on Twitter, by the way, Hayes Lyon, and check him out also on the Frangie Show, 3 to 6 p.m. at 1010 XL and 92.5 FM. Hayes, thank you for taking some time, my brother. We really appreciate it. Hope to do it down the line.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for having me. Take care.
You got it, man. Be good. Hayes Lyon, man. Good stuff there. Appreciate him checking in with us. We do want to remind you, folks, that every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. Onside Radio is the home for South Florida sports.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnsideRadio.com studio. Call A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
This Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard will be broadcasting live from Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout features Clonakilty Whiskies, the world's best Irish whiskey. So come on out this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Red Card Radio live from Stout Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
It was a fun season, but as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. The Panthers put up a good fight in forcing a Game 6, but that was as far as they would get, as the defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning knocked out the Cats with Wednesday's 4-0 win. Rookie goaltender Spencer Knight did what he could to keep Florida in the game, stopping 20 shots, including several point-blank opportunities during the first 2 periods, but it was Tampa goalie Andrei Vasilevsky that stole the show. The likely Vezina Trophy finalist was a brick wall, stopping everything the Panthers threw his way and frustrating the Cats at every turn. Now Tampa will move on to face the winner of the Carolina-Nashville series, while Florida will head back to Sunrise, clean out their lockers, and head into the offseason wondering what could have been.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dono, you missed.
And this happens in a lot of food polls, right? When I put out a food discussion and I claim that one thing is better than the other, the people who are the fans of the thing that I don't like as much will always say, oh, you've never had my abuelita's tres leches. Well, no crap. I don't know your grandma. She's never invited me over. I hate that argument. It's like, oh, wait, you think tiramisu is better? You've never had my abuelita's homemade tres leches. Well, until she invites me over, bro, how am I supposed to try? You've clearly never been to Florence where they have great tiramisu, so don't give me your crap. You've never had my nonna's tiramisu.
Yeah, I haven't.
And you'll never have it. She's dead.
Oh, God.
You'll never have it.
I really wanted to.
You're SOL. She didn't save the recipe. It died with her.
Oh, no.
Man of the Match with Alex Dono on South Florida's home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Welcome back. You know, every day we do something called the Round Table. And here on the Round Table, we pose a question to everybody. And we've got to respond to this question. And the question today for the Round Table, and remember, you go to Onside Radio. You can search on any platform, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, whatever, and subscribe to it because you'll get the roundtable there if you miss it. You'll get the E-Minute, the Marlins Minute, the Panthers Minute, all the different things that we do all throughout the week. Those kind of station segments, they're all put there at Onside Radio. So if you search Onside Radio, that's a podcast in itself. Man of the Match is another one, right? On its own, right? Squared Circle Digest, on its own. Inside the Paint, on its own. These are all different podcasts that you can subscribe to. Kai's Corner for Kai Chen Chisholm. Austin Robillard, Red Card Radio. We got a lot of shows on the station. Please go to Spotify or Stitcher or Google Play or iTunes or Podbean, whatever, and subscribe. So, we do the roundtable every day. If you miss it, you go, hey, I wonder what the boys had to say today. You can go right there, subscribe to Onside Radio, and there it is. So today's question. Duncan Robinson is headed to free agency. His salary could be in the neighborhood of 4 to 5 years, worth $70 to $80 million. Should Miami keep him at this rate, and is he worth it? All right. See, the problem is today's NBA player, a role player, is getting somewhere between $8 and $12 million. And is he worth it? Probably not at the 15 to 20 range. But in today's NBA, you're stuck with him. You got to do it. And he brings an element that I'm not big. Do I keep Kendrick Nunn? Hell no, dude. Tyler Hero? You're trade material. But this guy is one that can play off of anybody in any system because in this league, you got to shoot threes. And I know that defensively, I've heard the guy say that he's improved. I don't know if I call it improvement that, that on his best day, he can try to get in your way a little bit, because I know the tugging of the shirt is kind of his best defensive play if you really watch it. And so I'm not necessarily buying into Duncan Robinson, the better defensive player that much, but I am going to buy into Duncan Robinson is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, period. And so he has a skill. It's a lot like Jakeem Grant. And a lot of you, get rid of Jakeem. And I'm sitting there going, well, wait a minute, dude. This is one of the 3 best returners in the NFL. Since he came into the NFL, there aren't 3 guys better than him, period. He's got more returns for touchdown than anybody in Dolphin history. So you cannot just discard that. A guy that, and the rules of today make it that much harder to return. And yet somehow or another, this dude has more returns than most anybody else in the league. So how do you get rid of him? I'm like, no, he's my 5th or 6th receiver, whatever it is. That's fine. He doesn't have to play a lot of receiver. In fact, I'd only use him as a decoy. I'd use him mostly as a returner and scare the crap out of people and get great field position because that's what he can do. I mean, he's a great punt returner. This guy can play in a phone booth because he's shifty. Well, Duncan Robinson can flat out shoot. And while I'm incredibly disappointed with the Heat, I'm a little disappointed with the Heat front office that I don't think they've been doing overall a great job of putting together rosters here, and they've stuck lately over the last few years with the wrong players. And I'm really intrigued to see what happens with Jimmy Butler, because if you extend Jimmy Butler, then I'm really disappointed that you're doing that because you're setting yourself up for more headaches down the line. I'd rather deal with if he's pissed off that he's got to play out his final 2 years, and you don't want to deal with the petulant child or whatever, well then too bad, bro. You signed him. Get through it and move on. Make the tough decision here. Do not extend him like what these guys are talking about, 4 years, $181 million. Don't bring back Kendrick Nunn. Don't bring back certain players. And if you can get the right deal for Tyler Hero, then so be it, dude. Okay? That's fine. But Duncan has shown more consistency at one of the most important skills that that is required in the NBA than Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero combined. Those guys flash. This kid is consistent. And so, yeah, I get it. Not going to get you a ton of rebounds, not going to stop anybody, but he can shoot lights out. And he is a product of what you have around him. So if you have star players that are going to take the heat away from him, then he is going to be an absolute monster for you. Now, if you expect him to become a frontline player, then that's where you're wrong. And I know, let's hear from Duncan Robinson talking a little bit about his game and what he intends to work on. Go ahead, fire it off there, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, of course, giving it some thought. Truthfully, like I haven't yet transitioned into, that being the priority, which obviously, it likely will be this summer, as long as, of course, developing and improving, which is probably the main priority, truthfully. But yeah, at this point, I mean, I'm similarly, not to just kind of recycle answers, but it's similar to what I had just said about USA basketball. I'm just trying to get all the information possible so I can make, the best decision possible. In terms of the different factors that contribute, I mean, all of them do to some extent. First and foremost, a fit, a place where I can really feel comfortable. Winning is obviously, a priority for me as well. And then, of course, it's also a business, and there's an opportunity to make money to take care of people that I love the most. So that's also a priority as well. So any place that can offer all of those is a destination that I would be excited about. Obviously, I've had an incredible experience here. And love this organization for many different reasons. So we'll see. For the most part, like I said, I haven't really shifted my focus towards that just yet. But the next weeks, months will be mostly just about gathering information and trying to make the best decision possible.
So there you go, and that's Duncan Robinson in the closeout press conferences for the season. The kid's shown you more consistency, and he has improved throughout his career, his short career here with Miami. So I would end up giving him this deal because that's what the market bears. It's exactly what it is. Would I like to get him for $5 million? Yeah. Is it realistic? Hell no, dude. Because he's too good at one specific skill that you must have in the NBA. I can't say that about Nunn, and I can't say that about Tyler Hero. The most impressive skill set so far I have found with Tyler Hero is his IG girlfriend. That's it. Because she's explosive. Okay? You seen that body? You know what I'm saying? So that's impressive. His game, not so much. Yeah, he's got some flashes, but not enough. I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough of the drive, the want to be great. And this kid he has more talent overall than Duncan Robinson. But he doesn't work out. He doesn't he doesn't build on his defense, and he certainly did not build on what he did last year. He took a step back. And Kendrick Nunn, forget about it. You have Kendrick Nunn is pot luck, dude. You have no idea what the hell it's like a jack in the box. You keep whirling it around, and you don't know when it's going to pop up. And once in a blue moon, he shows up, and then more times than often, he doesn't. And you can't have that kind of player. He's just too inconsistent. So Duncan Robinson, I think the Miami Heat have no choice. That's one that they have to pay. The key is don't extend Jimmy Butler. Don't get yourself in trouble with Kendrick Nunn. Don't, put Tyler Hero on double secret probation from here on out because he's still on his rookie deal. But again, it's got to get to a point where, Tyler, you got to show us something or get the hell out. One of the two. But Duncan Robinson in this NBA, oh, man, you need a guy like that. You have no choice. They're going to have to pay Duncan Robinson. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. I need to talk about a Dolphins subject. It is Tua related that I find incredibly ridiculous. That is next.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Download the radio.net app and listen to Onside Radio on every Inter Miami CF game. OnsideRadio.com, your home for Inter Miami soccer.
Howdy, stranger.
Didn't this used to be Radio Town?
Yes, sir. It was Miami Sports Radio Town one time.
Who in the hell are these cowboys I never saw?
We don't know who these people are, riding in from other towns. There used to be a host in every one of these saloons, trying to talk about local matters, sports.
That ain't good, stranger. Could you tell me how this happened?
Well, it started when one corporation bought another, and they got rid of the good management and brought in a bunch of bumbling idiots and started firing all the local ranchers and replacing them one by one with these strangers from out of town.
I've heard that story before. Static and tumbleweeds, I'm moving on.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com. Listen to every Inter Miami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra. OnsideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app.
Floridians must prepare for sweltering heat, summer rainy seasons, and aggressive nature. And of course, hurricane season. That's why when it comes to protection, make sure your roof is prepared for the same brutal weather by calling Chase Roofing and Contracting. Open 24/7. Call them today. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and even Orlando. Go to chaseroofing.com. Chaseroofing.com provides roof inspections for both residential and commercial roofs. Get a free no-obligation roof evaluation. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Marlins are back on the field tonight in Buffalo, taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Sandy Alcantara will be on the mound for your Fish. First pitch is scheduled at 7:07. Last night in the NBA playoffs, the Washington Wizards stayed alive with a 122-114 win over the 76ers. Joel Embiid left the game late in the first quarter with a sore right knee, and the Utah Jazz took a commanding 3-1 lead after a 120-113 victory in their game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Tonight, the Brooklyn Nets look to eliminate the Boston Celtics at 7:30, and the Nets are 12.5-point favorites. Portland and Denver tip off at 9 p.m., and their series is tied 2-2, and the Lakers and Suns tip off at 10 with the Suns a 5-point favorite. AD is questionable for tonight's game, and Naomi Osaka has announced that she's withdrawing from the French Open. We're listening to the only locally owned South Florida sports talk station, and coming up is more of the Onside Zone with the Big O right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodiasDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moodias family. Dr. Moodias is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodiasDental.com.
Samuel says he reminds me of Ray Allen talking about Duncan Robinson. He says, I agree with you on Grant. Can you imagine Waddle and Grant standing next to each other on kick returns? Oh, I think that's going to happen. Oh, there's no doubt. I think they'll put both guys on kick returns for the Dolphins, and then that way you can't corner kick anybody. You can't avoid it. You're going to have to deal with one or the other. So I think that will happen. There's no doubt. I just don't think what you want is Waddle being a full-time guy. That's the other misconception I think people have out there. I don't believe this coaching staff will make Waddle the slot receiver, which will play 70-80%, and then I'm also going to make him the full-time returner. I don't think they'll do that. He's not a big body guy. You don't want to wear him out. You know what I'm saying? Super Boom says, oh, check out Night Ranger's new music on YouTube. It's not bad. All right, I'll check it out. I love Night Ranger, man. Love Night Ranger. Sing me away, baby. All right, let me get into a little Tua action because, you know, Tua talked a little bit. Can you play that? Can you get that soundbite, Alex, of him talking about not knowing the playbook well enough? Tell me when you have it, and so we can play it. Because Tua the other day had these comments, and it's just, to me, it's, look, we can interpret it however you want to interpret it, right? But my problem is I think a lot of people are going for the sensationalism of it, and they're going for the clicks. Let's hear Tua. Go ahead, talking about the system last year and his lack of knowledge of it.
Actually, what I'm saying is I didn't actually know the playbook necessarily really, really good. And that's on no one else's fault, but my fault. And our play calls were simple when I was in, I didn't have alerts and checks. Whereas now, feeling more comfortable, I can kind of maneuver my way, through these things now.
Now, you got to understand, and so people go into these directions of it's either bad, like, well, Tua, what, he didn't work hard enough to know the playbook? No, dude, they didn't make it for him. It was for Fitz. They thought they were going to have Fitz most of the last year, and sprinkle in a little Tua and give him some time. But Fitz struggled early, so they threw Tua in there. And this was an offseason where Tua was not the starter throughout the entire offseason because they had no offseason. So Fitz was the starter. So they're in an offseason where they have no time to prepare. The kid doesn't have time to have mini camps and passing camps and training camp and preseason like he's going to have now. He just had that first camp. Now he's going to have, now he had a passing camp. Right now he'll have those mini camps coming up. And then he'll have a training camp. And then he'll have a preseason. And guess what? He's going to be the number one guy throughout all of it. So now the offense is designed for him. The thing that people don't understand is the Dolphins were trying to win. So they said, well, we're not going to put a kid off of hip surgery into the starting lineup, and right away, without any practice time, without an offseason, we'd be doing the kid a disservice. So he'll learn the playbook. He'll learn whatever he can, right? They don't have time to work with him at this time. They're trying to win. But then all of a sudden, Fitz starts slow. He doesn't look good. Okay, so let's get the kid in there. Let's see if he gives us a little bit of a spark. They go back to Fitz. The rest is history. Obviously, Tua, so you see how everything ended up. But people in the media have to either turn it to the fact that, well, others had to, they had time, like Burrow and Herbert. Yeah, but Burrow and Herbert were starters right from the get-go. Herbert wasn't going to be a starter until the Chargers team doctor ended up puncturing the lung of Tyrod Taylor, so that forced Herbert in there. So then Herbert and Burrow got all the reps with the first team. So at that time, they're setting up the offense for those guys. And The Chargers and the Bengals aren't considered playoff teams. They're not considered a team that could actually win 10 games. Miami, obviously a team that could win 10 games because they did. So Miami's trying to win games. So at the moment, they felt the better path was Fitzpatrick. They felt the better path was to set Fitzpatrick up for winning and just keep the kid there to kind of watch Fitzpatrick and learn. So they had to play him a couple times. They gave him a shot to kind of prove himself, and he proved himself to a certain extent. Was it smooth? No. But is it his fault that he had no offseason? No. Is it his fault that he didn't have the first team reps? No. But these aren't excuses. These are the reality. Yet we've got people in the media that want to spin it that either the kid didn't work hard enough or is he not smart enough to learn the system? Did he struggle to learn the system? No, it's not that it's not that he struggled, dude. It's that he's a rookie. And I've watched rookies play way worse than Tua, making all kinds of mistakes and airmailing. I mean, Josh Allen in Buffalo, his first year was way worse than anything Tua did. In fact, he didn't even come close to what Tua did when Tua threw more touchdowns than interceptions, won more games than lost. This kid, his numbers were pathetic. And then they got better in the second year, and then they got really good in the third year, and the rest is history. So we cannot give this kid a break. We've got to find some kind of a negative on why he wasn't perfect when everything's been laid out for you. He wasn't the guy, so he wasn't getting first-team reps. So how's he going to learn the system? He's playing with backups. He's playing as a scout team quarterback probably. He's coming off a hip surgery, so he's not 100% healthy. So he's got to overcome all of those kind of things. That's why I keep telling people, you got to have patience. This year, you will see him be number one. This year, he's going to have reps as the number one all the way throughout. And this year, he's going to be absolutely healthy, something he wasn't last year. So now, mentally, he's in a completely different place. Because now he doesn't have to think about the injury. Now he thinks about football. Physically, he now doesn't have to adjust to things because now his core is a lot stronger. His arm is probably stronger. And now he also has the experience of playing in NFL games. So he's seen some defenses. He's experienced the speed of the game. He's experienced what an NFL playbook looks like. All of those things he'll be able to build on going into this season. What some people have to stop is coming to conclusions on a career that has barely started and is not even close to being finished. So let's allow the kid to actually start his career. Let's allow the kid to play a couple of years before we actually determine what he is. Before you assume he's too stupid to learn the playbook, or he's lazy because he didn't learn the playbook, or that Chan Gailey was at fault. Nobody was at fault, dude. It's a pandemic. And the pandemic put a hell of a wrench into what you wanted to do with the young man and many other people. I just heard Ira today who made an awesome point. Okay, with I think he was on with Toast today, if I'm correct, or Kai. I think it was Kai. I forgot. Anyway, so he was talking about how the Heat, the last 2 years, have lost out and they haven't been able to be their best. Why? And he's so right. They didn't have summer leagues and they didn't have preseason camps and all that kind of stuff, so they can develop Precious. So they can, the year before, they can work more with Nunn and they can work more with Robinson and Tyler and everybody else. And they weren't able to do that. And this year they're going to have a complete offseason. So Duncan will have a complete offseason. And Tyler will, well, if he's here. But whoever is here, Precious, will have a complete offseason. All of these kind of guys now, and Precious will have a summer league to play in. Something that a lot of these guys didn't. And what Ira said was 1,000% right. The Heat are at their best when they're able to develop players. And they had no opportunity to develop players the last couple of years. And he's right. And this year, they'll have an offseason. So they'll be better next year because they'll be better prepared for next season. So to me, that's where I think a lot of these Tua folks that aren't really showing the proper patience for all of this, I think these are the people that are going to have a lot of egg on their face when it's all said and done because they overreacted to what was one of the more incredibly difficult seasons for any athlete to try to excel in and play, especially a rookie athlete that did not get the time, was not the first team person. The offense wasn't designed for him, that's why the Justin Herbert and the Joe Burrow comparisons make no sense because those guys had proper opportunity to prepare. We take a break. We'll come back for the final segment of hour number 2 right here on OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. If you missed NBA insider Ira Winderman and the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report, you missed this.
But you know what? I'm a little afraid because I looked at the Heat's projected starting lineup, and I am at shooting guard tonight. So I'm a little bit worried about the Heat's chances all of a sudden. I got to tell you, it's crazy. I had fun with that. I think that's what you have to do, especially now that we're doing our post-game interviews on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not that personal connection. And yet you see all the aggregators. Butler takes on smart-ass Heat reporter. Reporter put in his place. It's like, and I was showing it. I went to the Panthers game with my son yesterday, and I was getting my Google alerts. And it was over and over over and over again. And I'm like, wow. Like this, the smallest little thing and what it becomes.
The Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report with NBA insider Ira Winderman, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnsideRadio.com studio. Call A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
This Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard will be broadcasting live from Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout features Clonakilty whiskeys, the world's best Irish whiskey. So come on out this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Red Card Radio live from Stout Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger! He was a Captain and Ginger! Captain and Ginger! He was a Captain and Ginger!
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Miami Lakes location at 15462 Northwest 77th Court, located in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Baseball fans will go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Saturday at 8 a.m., exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
All righty, final segment of the show. And, I wanted to leave this segment for last because it's obviously a very personal one for an athlete in Naomi Osaka, the tennis player who dropped out of the French Open, right? Yes. It is the French Open, right? I want to make sure I didn't get my Opens confused on that. And, at first it was this whole thing about not wanting to do the press conferences, and it sounded very childish and very unprofessional early on. And then we realized that she is dealing with depression and other issues, and so she's now going to step away from the game to get some help. And I got to tell you something. I'm considering how, we're loaded with so many losers in this society. And for those of you that maybe, I don't know if you saw, the Minnesota Vikings hired a new scout, and the Eagles hired a new scout who has Arab descent, and she's female. And so, and listen, Eagles fans, I'm sorry, but you have the worst reputation in pro sports as some of the worst fans ever. Your behavior is despicable. You know what I mean? You're just considered a disgusting bunch, okay? And I know it's not all Eagles fans, but you possess the most disgusting and vile individuals, that match up to the English hooligans, all right? That kind of stuff. And so I don't even want to get into that subject because that was also just disgusting to see what some of these Eagles fans were posting and saying about the poor woman who obviously has earned her right to have this job, and yet, people made it about religion or sex or whatever, and really minimized what she's accomplished, which is disgusting. But I will say this, on that side, and many other examples we have in our society, it's pretty gross. On this side, on the Osaka thing, I will give generally people credit for understanding and not going off the deep end. And I'll tell you how things have changed. When Ricky Williams was going through his issues after getting drafted and traded for and drafted in New Orleans, and he was doing interviews with the helmet on, okay? I know because I was doing radio then. We were making fun of it, man. We were laughing about it. Oh, what a weird dude, this, that, all that kind of stuff. And Ricky obviously had his issues too with social anxiety, which is things that Osaka's going through, and depression and all of that. And it at least shows how the wheel has changed a little bit. And I think it's because many, many people now have run into this case personally. I think a lot of people have a family member, a friend, somebody that's kind of dealt with some kind of level of depression. And so, not that we understand it, because I can't understand it. You know what I mean? Most of us that have never gone through it, we can't. I've had my depression. Obviously, something happens and you're depressed for the moment, but then eventually you recover and you try to get back on the horse and you figure things out and you try to compartmentalize all of that. You know what I mean? I lost my dad a long time ago, about 28 years ago, I believe it is. About 28 years ago. And I've never recovered from it. And I always tell any friends of mine that lose a parent, I say, hey, look, man, just to kind of warn you, this is something that you'll never recover from. You'll learn to deal with it. You'll learn to live with it. You'll remember the great days and things like that. But, actually accepting it, it's not something you ever accept because you love that person so much, you don't feel like they should ever leave. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love my dog Pegasus. For my dad, forget about it. I feel like that every single day. My dog Pegasus that we had to put down because he had neck cancer. I can't forget that dog. I think about that dog all the time. So you compartmentalize and you deal with these kind of things. That's what normally people do. But there are people that fall into the abyss and they don't know how to get out of the abyss. They don't know how they got into the abyss. They don't know this feeling, and we cannot actually relate to it, right? because we've had normal depression. But it shows how much we've grown a little bit as a society in accepting this now, because I think a lot of us have experienced it with somebody that we love or somebody that we know or somebody that we work with, something along those lines. I think you can almost talk to anybody and they'll tell you they know somebody personally that has depression issues. And for many, many decades and obviously centuries, I'm sure that this kind of issue has been going on, and we dealt with it in so many other ways that obviously was not a way that we were understanding as a society, as human beings. And so I will say that I have sensed more understanding for Osaka than I normally would have 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And that is a tribute to all of us in our society, because while people were ready to pile on to her thinking that she was immature and that, you know, this is a millennial thing or a Generation X thing or whatever you want to call it, when she actually tells us her problems and she's willing to walk away from one of the biggest moments in her career, because in any tennis player's life, Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, the Australian Open, the French Open, those are, you don't want to miss any of those. You want to be at every Grand Slam you can possible, and especially if you're Naomi, who can actually win any of these tournaments because she's that gifted. But she's also that burdened at this point with her issues. And I just want to say that it was nice to see that there was more understanding about this, because this is something that even yours truly didn't have a great understanding of it, didn't really respect it nearly as much. I kind of put it down myself, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And when we were watching Ricky Williams, I know we were making fun of Ricky, is basically what we were doing in those days. Now we wouldn't. Now we would think, oh, he's got a anxiety issue. He's got a social issue right now. He's got maybe depression that he's dealing with. He's going through something at this point in time. And so even when we see the signs of it now, we are now already turning the page and going, well, wait a minute. It looks like this person is dealing with something. Hey, let's be respectful because we don't know what it is. And we've come a long way in that sense. Because I can't imagine what somebody dealing with depression 20 and 40 and 50 years ago, they weren't getting any understanding whatsoever. Not from society, not from the media, not from your friends, and not from your family members. So I will say that it was nice to see that there's a little bit more understanding on what Naomi went through. We thank Hayes Carlyon for joining us from Jacksonville. Alex Aguirre, excellent work by you. We thank all of you. And yeah, for those of you just tuning in, the doctor only wants me to do 2 hours. I've gone a little bit over, but I gotta work it slowly before I can get back to 3 hours so I can keep my voice, you know what I'm saying, and kind of retrain it. So that's what we're doing. But thank you all out there. We will see you tomorrow. Alex Donna will take over at the top of the hour like he always does every day at 3 o'clock. And then Steven comes in with Miami Music, the Miami Music Show, and that'll be on at 6 o'clock. You all be good out there. Be safe. Much love.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s.